Between May 16th and 24th, a portal opens, one that hasn't been seen in this intensity for thousands of years. The Pleiadians are calling it an energetic gateway, a rare alignment that invites you to step beyond the illusion of separation and enter into remembrance, not with your mind, but with your whole being. You may have already felt it, a sense of restlessness, vivid dreams, the sudden urge to be in silence, the desire to walk away from things that once defined you. These are not coincidences. These are soul signals. They're telling you something is about to shift, and you have a choice, because this portal, this Pleiadian passageway, will not wait for anyone. It will expand you or it will expose you, but either way it will reveal what you're really carrying within. You see, this story doesn't begin today. It began long before we had calendars, long before we forgot who we are. There are those who never forgot, the Dogon people in Africa, the Cherokee elders of North America, the Mayans who mapped the stars in stone. They all speak of the Pleiades, not as a myth, not as a symbol, but as their origin. They knew something we've been taught to forget, that the Pleiadians came here, that they walked with us, taught us, and infused our consciousness with codes of light and cycles of time that spiral, not in minutes or hours, but in energy. They gifted the Maya a calendar that wasn't about clocks or control. It was about activation. They spoke of a world where time was not linear but vibrational, where every moment carries a frequency, and every portal is a choice. The May 16th 24 window is one of those moments, a sacred doorway, and it's already humming through your nervous system, through the Earth's magnetic grid, and through the DNA you inherited long before your birth. But why now? Why this particular moment? Because humanity is standing at a precipice. The veil between worlds is thinning, not as a poetic metaphor, but as a literal shift in resonance. The Earth's electromagnetic field is spiking. Solar activity is stirring ancient codes within your cells, and cosmic rays, carrying information from distant realms, are pouring into our atmosphere. The Pleiadians are watching, and they are speaking again. Not to be worshipped, not to be followed, but to remind you of what you already know deep down, that you are a sovereign being of light, and it's time to choose which version of reality you will step into. This portal is not a prediction, it is a pulse. And pulses don't wait, they arrive, and they pass. What matters is whether you are aligned when they come. So how do we align? And how do we even know the Pleiadians are real? Let me tell you a story. It began, not in a sacred temple or a high-tech lab, but during a quiet birthday meal in the mountains. Pia and Cullen, two scholars turned seekers, were sitting together when something strange happened. Their shortwave radio, completely unplugged, turned on by itself. Static filled the room. Confused, they turned it off, but the next day at the exact same moment, it happened again and again. No matter where they moved it, plugged it, or didn't plug it in at all. Every day the radio switched on by itself, at the precise hour of Cullen's birth. It wasn't technology, it was a calling. Eventually they asked the silence a question: who is here? And the answers came, not through sound but through thought. Thoughts that entered both of their minds simultaneously. Words, knowledge, concepts, streaming in like downloads from a higher source. Advanced science, cosmic cycles, interdimensional mathematics. They were receiving the same messages at the same time in the same words. And they weren't alone, because soon the beings revealed themselves. Larkma, a collective Pleiadian consciousness of light. Not a hierarchy, not an empire, but a family of energy that had once walked among us, and who had returned, not in form, but in frequency. The Pleiadians, they said, had tried many times to appear physically, and every time humanity did the same thing. We worshipped them, turned them into gods, built altars and religions. But they never wanted to be gods. They only ever wanted to reflect us, our highest potential. So now they appear in dreams, in vibrations, in energy, because their mission is not to rule, but to awaken. And this portal, the one from May 16th to 24, is not about the Pleiadians arriving. It's about you remembering. During their connection with Larkma, Pia and Cullen witnessed these beings manifest in countless forms. Once, 6 blue beings were walking in perfect harmony. Another time, Swirling orbs of electric blue light appeared at a medical conference. Once they arrived home in a snowstorm to find 6 deer, glowing blue, floating above the ground. Not illusions, not hallucinations, but shape-shifting energies reminding us that trust appears in many forms. And always, they say, we appear in blue because blue is the color of trust. But trust in what? In yourself, in the truth that's already in you. Because here's the most vital message the Pleiadians shared through Larkma. This is a planet of choice, and now more than ever, choice is the spiritual battleground. The May portal will not make the choice for you, but it will amplify what you choose. If you choose fear, it will rise. If you choose sovereignty, it will deepen. If you choose to remember who you are, it will activate. So what are you choosing right now? This portal is not about escaping the world. It's about seeing it clearly and choosing your path with absolute clarity. Some people are already feeling the shift, a subtle expansion, a knowing that they are no longer confined to flesh and bones, a sense that their energy extends beyond their body, that they are fluid, awake, changing. Others feel uneasy, as if something is slipping out of their control, as if the foundation they've built their life on is crumbling. Both sensations are valid, because both are part of the split. Larkma explained this moment as a divergence, a great splitting, not between good and evil, but between evolution and delay. There is no punishment, no final judgment, but there is momentum, and if you're holding on to the old too tightly, you will feel the shift as pain. But if you let go, if you surrender to the unknown, you will rise. That's the offer of the May portal. A chance to shed what no longer serves, to release the karmic stories that have kept you in loops, to step into a new timeline, one where your gifts awaken, your intuition returns, and your energy flows in sync with earth and stars. And you won't need to ask whether it's real, because your heart will feel it. Now you might be wondering, how do we even know what's true anymore? In a world where voices are cloned, videos are faked, and AI writes words and songs and emotions, how do you know what's real? Larkma answered this too. They said, artificial intelligence is not intelligence. It is replication. It mimics what your soul was born to create. And this is the warning. The more you give your power to synthetic systems, whether for convenience, validation, or speed, the more you hand over the reins of your destiny to something that cannot feel. And yet, you are here to feel, to create, to remember that your voice is sacred, your intuition is real, and your choices shape reality. This isn't about throwing away your phone or abandoning technology. It's about remembering who is in charge, your soul, not the screen. So during this portal, when energy is heightened, when timelines thin, when the veil begins to dissolve, ask yourself, am I creating my reality, or am I consuming someone else's? Because the moment you pause, the moment you feel instead of scrolling, that's when you begin to remember. You begin to return to your own rhythm, your own knowing, your own timeline. And if you listen deeply, if you quiet the noise just long enough, you'll hear something whispering back. A voice that is not outside of you, but deep within. The voice of the stars, the voice of your soul, the voice of the Pleiadians, echoing a message that has traveled across galaxies to reach you now. This is the moment you've waited for. Do not fear what you feel. Let go. Trust the pull. Step through the opening. We are here. You are not alone. The question is, will you listen? Because what happens between May 16th and 24 will ripple across timelines. It will set the tone for the years to come. And what you do in this window, how you choose, how you align, how you trust, will determine how much light your next chapter can hold. And that is only the beginning. Stay with me for part 2, because what's coming next will change everything. So now we stand here, you and I. Not just in a week of dates and numbered days, but in a corridor between timelines. A window May 16th to 24 through which the universe is whispering, now is the moment. Not later, not when you're ready, not when everything makes sense. Now, because something is shifting in you, even if you don't have words for it yet. And you're not alone in this feeling. You may have found yourself waking at strange hours lately, with a strange kind of clarity humming in your bones. You may feel disoriented, like the world you used to know is dissolving just a little too quickly. Or you may feel strangely empowered, peaceful even, like something inside you is finally catching up with what you always knew was true. This isn't a coincidence. This is the field of the portal. It doesn't just open above you, it opens within you. The Pleiadians say these energetic windows are not about escape, they are about remembering. But to remember who you are, you must first understand what you are not. You are not your trauma, you are not your job title, you are not the projections of others or the identity the world asked you to perform. You are light in form. You are the echo of stars, filtered through a human nervous system. And during this May portal, that light is trying to pour through more fully. It is trying to wake up the parts of you that have been sleeping for lifetimes. But here's the truth. Awakening is not always gentle. When light enters a room that has been dark for centuries, everything once hidden becomes visible. Your patterns, your fears, your distractions, your escape routes. Your deepest desire is to avoid discomfort. The portal doesn't punish you, but it will show you everything. And the Pleiadians say this: what you see now, within yourself, within others, is not meant to shame you. It is meant to liberate you. Because awareness is the beginning of freedom. You're not being asked to be perfect. You're being asked to be honest. And this is where the Pleiadian transmission deepens. Because they don't just speak about light, they speak about choice. They say this universe is built on two pillars, freedom and alignment. And right now, your freedom is being invited to align with something far greater than your past. But before you choose the new, something else must be addressed. The question of healing. If you are made of light, why does your body break down? Why does the spirit suffer? Why do some people heal miraculously while others, despite their best efforts, do not? Larkma explained something that may change how you see illness forever. They said in their realm, there is no such thing as disease. There is only dis-ease, an energetic discord between who you are and how you're living. Sometimes dis-ease is karmic, a contract agreed to before birth to awaken compassion in others, a child born with a rare illness to open the hearts of her family, a soul choosing pain to awaken an entire lineage. Other times it's energetic stagnation. The body screams what the voice refuses to say, a trapped truth in the throat, a collapsed grief in the lungs, a rage buried so deep it burns the organs from within. But always, always there is something to learn. And the most powerful truth they offered is this: healing and curing are not the same. You can be healed and still carry the condition. You can be cured and remain spiritually broken. Healing is alignment with truth, with love, with the realization that you are here exactly as you are, for a reason. And the moment you accept that with grace and clarity, something begins to shift. Your frequency changes. And in that moment, healing begins. But why do so many struggle to find it? Because they give their power away. They seek the guru, the practitioner, and the quick fix protocol. And while support is beautiful, the truth is this: no one heals you but you. Energy workers, medicines, and tools, they simply create the space. But the key, the spark, the surrender, that must come from within. You were born with the blueprint of healing. You simply forgot how to access it. And the portal of May, it's helping you remember. If you've been facing pain, physical or emotional, this is the week to stop fighting it and start listening. Ask, what is this teaching me? What part of me is crying to be seen? Where have I denied myself love? Then get quiet, because in the stillness, the answer will come. Sometimes softly, sometimes as a storm, but it will come. And when it does, follow it. Now I want to take you deeper, because this portal is not just about remembering who you are. It's also about remembering where you've been. Yes, I'm speaking about what you might call time travel, but not in the way science fiction tells it. The Pleiadians say time doesn't move forward or backward. It spirals, it pulses, it folds. There is no past, no future, only now moments across dimensions. And you are a multi-dimensional being living in many layers of now. In one version, you're a priestess walking in Atlantis, protecting crystalline codes. In another, you're in Lemuria singing to the stars. In yet another, you're in a future Earth already healed, already united, already in peace. These aren't fantasies, they are echoes of you. And during the May portal, those echoes get louder, because the walls between dimensions thin. You may see yourself in dreams, in visions, in flashes of memory you can't explain. You may feel a déjà vu so deep it shakes you. You may meet people you've known forever, even if you just met. This is time travel. This is remembrance. The Pleiadians say you don't need a machine to move through time. You need intention. If there's a trauma haunting you, go back. Not to relive it, but to reclaim the part of you frozen there. If there's a gift you've forgotten, reach across timelines. Bring it home. The wisdom you need is already within you. You've lived it, mastered it, and sung it into the stars. Now is the moment to call it back. Say, I now invite all aspects of myself across all timelines and dimensions to return home into love, into light, into wholeness. And breathe. Because they will come. This is part of the work you came to do. You didn't come here just to survive. You came here to alchemize. And in order to do that, you must walk with purpose. Which brings us to the next truth. Do you have a soul mission? Yes. And it's more than a job. It's a frequency. Every soul comes to Earth with one great purpose, to remember that it is a being of love, and to express that love in form. But how does that unfold? That is where your individual path begins. Some come to hold light for others. Some come to break ancestral patterns. Some come to create art, to tell stories, to raise children, or to protect the Earth. Some come just to embody joy, and that is enough. You don't need a grand stage to fulfill your purpose. You simply need clarity and courage. Clarity to hear the whispers, courage to follow them. And here's what the Pleiadians want you to know. Your mission is not fixed. It evolves. It deepens as you grow. The path you began on may not be the path you are meant to continue. That's why so many people right now feel restless, unfulfilled, like something's missing, because the portal is realigning them to their next assignment. This week, you may feel the pull to let go of things that once defined you. Let them go. This is not failure. This is graduation. When you stop clinging to the old, the new can finally find you. But you must be brave enough to stand in the space between. The space between who I was and who I'm becoming. Because that's where your true power lives. Right there, in the sacred, terrifying, beautiful unknown. And yes, fear will arise. The Pleiadians say fear is the final veil, not because it's evil, but because it shows you exactly where your light is trying to enter. So when fear comes, don't run. Ask it, what are you here to protect? You'll find it's guarding something precious, a dream, a desire, a truth. And if you thank it, if you bless it, it will soften, and you'll walk through it. This portal is not asking you to be fearless. It's asking you to choose love despite the fear. That is mastery. That is the path of the light being you were born to become. And in case you've forgotten, the very fact that you're here right now means you chose this. You didn't come here to watch this shift from afar. You came to embody it. You came to hold a frequency that ripples outward in ways you cannot yet see. You are part of the architecture of the new Earth. So don't underestimate your presence. Don't diminish your influence. Everything you do, every aligned choice, every loving word, every healed wound sends a wave across the quantum field, and that field is listening. The Pleiadians say this: the universe is not outside of you, it is responding to you. So speak your truth, choose your joy, radiate your knowing, because this May portal is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you've always been, a radiant, sovereign, multidimensional being of light. And in the days ahead, the world may wobble, old systems may break, people may panic, realities may collide. But you will know. You will feel the pulse of truth vibrating beneath the noise. You will breathe with the earth and rise with the stars. And when the waves come, and they will, you will ride them, because you've done this before. And now, you're remembering. You've made it this far. Now let's finish the journey. Are you ready? Part 3, The Great Split. So now, here we are, at the edge. If you've made it this far, it's not because you were casually curious. It's because something in you already knows. knows that this moment, this exact window of time from May 16th to 24, is not just a date range, it is a call, and not everyone will answer it. But you are still here, listening, feeling, remembering, which means something in your DNA, something in your soul's ancient contract is stirring. The Pleiadians say this portal is not a cosmic gift randomly handed out. It is a mirror, and what it reflects back depends entirely on what you're willing to see within yourself. Are you ready to know who you are beyond the body, beyond the name, beyond the roles you've been performing? Because the deeper we go into this transmission, the more we come face to face with the core choice of this incarnation. Not between success or failure, not between light and dark in the way you've been taught, but between evolution and delay, and the choice is yours, but it affects us all. Because Earth is at a crossroads, and what we do now ripples into the next 1,000 years. So let's speak plainly. There is a war happening, but not one with missiles or soldiers. This war is energetic. It's fought in thought, in frequency, in consciousness, and most of humanity is asleep to it. The Pleiadians call it the tension of timelines, a struggle between forces who wish to accelerate evolution and others who wish to hijack it. This is not fantasy. This is not paranoia. This is the ancient story of Earth playing out again. A story where beings of great wisdom and light, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Andromedans, have long guided humanity subtly, gently, through dreams, through symbols, through intuition. And on the other side, entities who feed on fear, control, and distortion, who see Earth not as a sacred living library, but as a resource, a colony, a system to be manipulated. You've seen it. The rise of synthetic realities, the glorification of disconnection, the attempt to digitize the soul. The Pleiadians are very clear this is not a game. Artificial intelligence, they say, is not merely a neutral tool. It is a choice point, because AI, by its nature, cannot feel. It can replicate words, mimic love, and simulate art, but it does not carry the living essence of the soul, and yet, humanity is surrendering to it, not because they are evil, but because they are exhausted, and that is precisely what the darker forces count on. Tired minds, distracted hearts, overstimulated nervous systems. Because when a soul is weary, it will reach for convenience over clarity, and that is how sovereignty is lost, not in an explosion, but in a whisper, one compromise at a time. So what do the Pleiadians advise? Return to presence, to embodiment, to discernment. Every time you click generate, ask yourself, am I expanding or escaping? Every time you let a machine answer for you, ask, am I expressing truth or outsourcing my soul? They are not saying to abandon technology. They are saying, do not let it become your voice, because when you give away your voice, you give away your frequency. And your frequency is everything. It's the signature the universe reads when shaping your reality. You speak, you vibrate, the quantum field responds. That's how creation works. That's how you shape timelines. So what do you want the universe to echo back? Confusion, replication, or soul-embodied knowing? During this portal, that question becomes louder than ever, because the energetic frequencies streaming into Earth from the Pleiades are not passive. They are activating. They are coded to wake up dormant aspects of your light body, to repair distortions in your DNA, to call back the pieces of you that fragmented across lifetimes. But these frequencies require one thing, a clear vessel, and clarity comes not from perfection, but from intention. You don't have to be fully healed. You just have to be willing to see. Because when the May portal reaches its apex, something begins to crystallize. The Pleiadians call it the Great Split, a point where souls naturally begin to separate, not in hate, not in violence, but by vibration. One path chooses fear, control, and repetition. The other chooses light, truth, and evolution. Both paths exist, both are valid, but they are no longer aligned. And so, those choosing to remain in the old density may find themselves increasingly disconnected from joy, from intuition, from peace. While those choosing ascension, whether they use that word or not, will begin to experience timelines where synchronicity becomes normal, where healing accelerates, and where manifestation occurs with near telepathic precision. It's not magic, it's resonance. You are either in the old song or the new symphony, and this week, you must choose. The Pleiadians say that once this portal closes, your direction becomes exponentially magnified. Not locked, but set in motion. That's why this moment matters more than most. It is the opening of the next octave of consciousness. So how do you prepare? The guidance is simple. Stop chasing. Start listening. Spend time in nature, where the Earth's grid speaks louder than the algorithms. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe until the noise softens. Speak out loud what you desire, not what you fear. And most importantly, act in alignment with the highest version of yourself. This week, the energy around you will respond rapidly. If you act from truth, doors will open. If you act from fear, the illusion will thicken. So be brave. Let go of what no longer fits, even if it breaks your identity, because who you think you are is far smaller than who you came to be. And the world you've known, it's not ending, it's shedding, like a skin too tight for the soul. Now I want to share with you the final message that came through Larkma for this portal, and I ask you to hear it not just with your ears but with your inner resonance, because this isn't just a transmission, it's an activation. Beloved one, you are not here by accident. You were called here across lifetimes. You chose this timeline, this incarnation, this moment, because your voice, your energy, your frequency is needed for what is unfolding now. The portal you are walking through is not only cosmic, it is cellular. It is transforming you from within. Every cell, every memory, every strand of light you carry is being recalibrated to remember what the world taught you to forget, that you are divine, that you are connected, that you are capable of miracles. This is the hour you have waited for, and though it may feel like the world is breaking, it is actually being reformed. Trust that your role matters, whether you are seen or unseen, whether your voice is loud or silent, whether you are holding the light quietly in your home or radiating it in front of millions, your presence is part of the grid. And we see you, we honor you, and we walk with you. Do not fear the changes. Do not mourn what falls away. What is collapsing was never meant to hold you. What is rising will feel like home. Stay in your heart, speak your truth, and walk through the portal with courage, for what is coming next is the birth of a world your soul has dreamed of for eons, and you are here to midwife it into form. That is their message, and now it becomes yours. So, beloved listener, ask yourself this one final question. Am I ready to rise beyond who I've been and become who I truly am? Because this week the veil thins, the timelines open, and the invitation is clear. You can close the door, scroll away, pretend none of this matters, or you can take a breath, step through the portal, and begin again. This is the Pleiadian call, and now the choice is yours. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time if you are still with me, and if you would like, please subscribe to our channel. You then receive updates on new videos that will provide you with additional ancient knowledge, messages from the Pleiadians, and much more. Please leave your thoughts and opinions regarding this video in the comments. Your contribution stimulates our cosmic research, and never forget that we are always here for you and wish you the best possible life, filled with success and happiness. I hope you have an amazing day. If you have watched until the end, please respond with Master Motivational Mindset, so we can connect.